All right, next up is the mirror pattern features. And this is quite an involved one. We're actually only going to draw this lower left-hand corner, and then after that, we're going to use the mirror command, the 3D mirror command, to make the other three quadrants here. So first thing is to click on mirror1.ipt, and make sure you save this. Do a file, save as, and find your H drive, and save this to your H drive. Now, we need to do a 2D sketch right on that front surface, and we're going to make this geometry that is right here on the part. So I'm going to start by drawing a line, and I'm just going to draw a straight line that is 1 inch long. And then actually I'm going to restart my line command here. I'm going to come to the left-hand end, and I'm going to come down 0.5 inches. And then back to the right here, 1 inch. Now I'll hit escape. And there's a couple different ways we can do this radius on the end. Probably my favorite one would be circle center point. That's pretty easy to do. I'll just draw the line here on the end. Oops. Escape. Got to actually get the end of the line. There we go. And then I'll start the circle command. I go from the middle of the line to the edge. And I'll use the trim command to get rid of this inside part here. And then I'll click on that line and just press delete to get rid of that. And that leaves me with that circle. Now, mine looks a little goofy, so you might have to do this. I might not even have to do this. But I just use the tangent command between those two. See, that one didn't need to be there. But anyways, so now I've got this done. Okay. Next thing is I'm going to exit my sketch. Oh, I did goof up. I'm going to double click on the sketch here to activate it. I need to actually place this correctly. I made that mistake there. I'm going to dimension from this left-hand line to that right there, and that is 2 inches. And then we are down from this upper surface here to here, and this is supposed to be 0.75. And oh, that's not supposed to be 2 inches, that's supposed to be 3. So just double click on that and make that 3. There we go. I knew it wasn't looking right. Now I'll finish my sketch, and I'm going to do an extrude. The profile is going to be that one right there. It's going to be a cut and through all, and I'll say OK. Now the next step in this is to do a mirror feature, and the mirror tool is somewhere along here on the top. Here it is. It's above pattern, and what it wants to know is first, what are the features that we want to mirror? And that is going to be that block right there in the middle, the thing we just drew. The mirror plane is going to be that inside surface with a straight line right there. And I'm just going to say OK. Now we're going to make another slot. This one's going to be going up and down on this surface. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch. And I'm going to start my line command, and I'll draw this one. Well, you know what? Actually, I could do. Yeah, I could actually use the rectangle tool here and do this, and then just dimension it. So I'm going to dimension the overall height here to 1, because that's the 1 inch right there. I'm going to dimension its location from the bottom to 3. And I'm going to dimension its location from the side to 0.75. And then I'm going to dimension its overall width to 0.5. Now again, I have to draw this circle from the middle of this line. So I just put my cursor on here till I get the little green dot, and I'll come over. And then I'm going to use the trim tool to get rid of that piece. And I will highlight this and delete that. And let's do the there we go. I had to use the constraint for tangency to make sure that where the arc comes into the straight lines was perfectly fine. Okay, so now in the tutorial, we're going to repeat the steps that we just did up above. So we're going to finish the sketch. I'm going to extrude this. It's going to be a cut, and it's through all, and I'll just say OK. Then mirror. So I'll mirror this feature only. The mirror plane is going to be that bottom line right there, and I'm going to say OK. Next up, I'm going to put in a work point, and I'm going to dimension it in like this graphic shows me right here. So I start a sketch and I put it on the surface, and I do a point, and I'm just going to click here in space, start my dimension tool, go from the work point to there. I'm going to change that dimension to 4, and then from the work point to the left hand edge, change that dimension to 3, and I am actually going to finish my sketch, and I'm going to use the hole command. That's going to go through, and I want my diameter of the hole to be 0.75. It's going to be through all, and I'm going to say OK. Now we're going to round off a corner. It's going to be this corner down here, and the fillet radius is going to be 3. So I'm going to hit fillet. For the radius, I'm going to change this to 3 inches, and I'm going to click on the lower left-hand corner of the view block, and that's just so I can see this line right here. And I want to click on that line, and then I can go back and take a look at the picture just to make sure it's what I want, and it is. Let's say apply, and then I can cancel and finish that command out. And I've got just a couple more things to do here. So I just clicked on that, and I said OK, and now I've got my rounded off corner. Now I'm going to start a sketch again, and I'm going to put it on this front surface. And this time I'm going to use a work axis. Let's see. It's a sketch from the standard toolbar. This will toggle the sketch mode off. Oh, I goofed. So I'm going to undo. Here, take a look at this. So I want to put a work axis in, and that is right here to the right of plane. All I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on that curved surface, and that puts the work axis in for me. So now, okay, so now I'm going to do a circular pattern of this hole. So I'm going to select the circular pattern tool. I'm going to select the feature, which is this hole right here. I'm going to now click revolution axis, which is that axis right there, and I'm going to put in I believe it is 6. Yes, enter 6. So my placement is comes out as 6 as a default, and I'll just say OK. So now we're going to use the mirror tool, and it's going to be, we're going to mirror all the features. So we're going to highlight this whole thing, and we are going to do the fillet of the radius. You want to make sure to do that. So mirror is right here. And there's a couple different ways to do this. You can go through and select everything. You can also go right over here and click. I'm going to hold the control button down. Oops. Extrusion, this mirror, this hole, this fillet, this work axis, this circular pattern, and it just clicked on it. It just selected everything. The mirror plane is going to be that edge up there, and we're going to say OK. And I think we got everything. Okay. Now we're going to do the mirror again, and I'm thinking that I can do this, and if I hold the control key down, there we go, I can get everything picked. And this time the mirror plane is going to be that surface right there, and I'll say OK. And there is that entire part. And by the way, if you don't want to see that work axis, you can right click and turn off its visibility to make it not appear any longer. So that is this mirror part.